Welcome back to the program. Beth Stipe has joined me once again, the Executive Director of the Community Foundation of North Central Washington. Last time she was on the show, it seemed like it was a year ago.
I know, totally.
It was Wednesday of last week. In that interim, you get the money, you wisely invest the money, and then you start doling it out to the nonprofits who have deserved getting doled out, if you can say getting doled out on television. And we need to address this right off the top, Beth. One of the reasons that people trust you guys so much and have for the 40 years or more.
2026 is 40 years.
That's right. I know. My mom had something to do with the founding.
She did.
She had a big role in it. Anyway, is that you guys are taking the money that people trust with you, and you're investing it wisely.
Right.
That this is cool. You're not buying stock in Blockbuster and Kmart and Sears. It doesn't work that way. You have smart people who know what they're doing, so the money grows.
Right.
Let's talk about that right off the top.
So we have a pretty conservative investment policy that the board has approved, and that we go out and we hire an independent consultant that helps our volunteer board of trustees to select and review and hire and fire managers to invest the funds that are entrusted at the foundation. So that is a 60% equity, 40% fixed income portfolio.
That is pretty conservative.
It's very conservative. There are no hedge funds. There's no private equity. It's all mainstream investing strategies. And as your brother, who was on the board for many years, would say, it's the keep it simple, stupid investment policy. You know, we keep it very easy.
And it's gotten you through some tough economic times.
Very much so. I mean, for 40 years, this has been our investment policy. And, when we look back at what our 10-year return is, we're right at that 8%, which is kind of the sweet spot of where we want to be. Because what that allows us to do, it allows us to have a very high spending policy, which is the money that we send out on an annual basis on our endowed funds. It also allows us to keep up with traditional inflation rates. And grow the funds a little bit so that there's a little bit more that gets to go out to help the causes and purposes that donors have selected to entrust us with their funds.
And your daily overhead isn't very much. Your expenses are pretty low. You guys keep a close eye on the checkbook.
We are a very tight organization. We have only 8 employees that manage 3 counties worth of giving. And last year we sent out over $10 million in grants and scholarships in the region. So we think that we are a very lean, mean giving machine.
Oh, I like that. It's the lean, mean giving machine. So they get the money.
We need a jingle. You should come up with a jingle for us. Yeah.
Give them money. Give them. No, well, let's dole out some dough.
Yeah.
The press releases came from Tom and Ms. Perky.
Yes.
And the crew there. And it's one thing to take in the money. It's the next step is to dole it out. And that is probably the most difficult part. It's all volunteers.
It is.
Who go through all of these nonprofits. You want to give them all what they want. You can't.
Right.
But eventually, it's like here's what you asked for. Here's what we're going to give you, and nobody walks away and says darn.
Right. So, there's a few that walk away and say darn.
But it's hard. It's a hard job to do, to have to say not as much as you want, but the volunteers, and they're all volunteers who do this, do great work.
All local people,
so
right?
You're giving away money. Here's the press releases. Talk about the dough and all that stuff.
Yeah, so first of all, I have to say, so there's kind of a two-pronged approach to how the funds happen for our Legacy Fund grant-making program. And that is unrestricted funds that come to the Community Foundation, and then restricted funds that come through our Founder Circle for each of the individual community legacy funds. So we have legacy funds in all of the, I would say, major areas of North Central Washington: Waterville, Mansfield, Okanagan Valley, Methow Valley, Kashmir, Upper Valley,
basically
Wenatchee
outside
Valley,
of the Wenatchee Valley.
Chelan Valley.
Right, okay.
Exactly.
Right.
So all of the communities have their dedicated legacy fund where volunteers from that area do a 3-year term that they come in and they go out and do all of the site visits along with a trustee from the Community Foundation as well as staff from the Community Foundation. They visit with all of these organizations, and then they have this budget that they have to deal with and to make those difficult decisions on how to allocate those funds. And as an example, the Wenatchee Valley Local Advisory Board had to do almost 60 site visits, and they had to determine out of those 60 organizations where they could fund their roughly $300,000. That's a lot of those are a lot of organizations to have to consider and to make those difficult decisions, because we just don't have the funding to meet every need.
It's too bad you don't.
I know. Well, you know.
Maybe one day we do.
One day, you never know.
I was on the same kind of committee. I was with well, they're not around anymore. I was with the United Way, and I was on their funds distribution committee. It was hard work.
It is.
But you also were able to pick out. You got a sixth sense for those people who took your visit seriously.
Oh, yes.
It's like, oh, we'll just make Dan some cookies and he'll give us money. And it doesn't work that way.
It doesn't.
And the volunteers are not only good people, but they have a lot of common sense.
Yes.
They know if maybe something that wasn't quite on the up and up, that we're going to do a little homework here.
Yes, and the Community Foundation also offers support for those, oftentimes emerging organizations that are maybe just getting started. Maybe they don't have a balance sheet, so we can offer them access to resources where they can learn how to do those kinds of things and get their house in order, if you will, so that when they come back the next time, if they are unsuccessful in this year's cycle, there are future opportunities for them as they continue to improve their efficiency and effectiveness.
Well, we got 2 press releases, and there's just, it's really cool. I want to mention all of them. I can't.
I know there's so many.
I don't have time. The bottom line, it goes to 3 pages.
Yeah.
Here, there's very few of these I have not heard of. They're all well deserved. Some are larger than others.
Yes.
And ergo, they get maybe a little bit more money.
Yeah, we also have, we're always learning at the Community Foundation. And so this is only the 2nd year of this Legacy Fund program. And so one of the things that we, as we started to move our grant making more localized than it already was, we realized that there are organizations that kind of don't fit in a box necessarily. Like, as an example, Community Action Council. They provide access to food for all of Chelan and Douglas counties. And so within Chelan and Douglas County, we have multiple legacy funds. And so how do you support or put Community Action Council only in the Wenatchee Valley when they're supporting Chelan, Cashmere, Upper Valley, Waterville, Mansfield? So we decided that we were going to do a regional pool. So we set aside a little bit of money out of our unrestricted funds that our local advisory boards are able to make a recommendation when they visit an organization that has an impact outside of their territory, if you will. They can recommend that back to the Board of Trustees of the Community Foundation, of which they have a pot of money, and they can allocate additional resources for those organizations that are covering a much larger footprint than some of our smaller organizations that are really localized.
And it makes perfect sense. Why would you want to have somebody who lives and works in East Wenatchee decide what kind of money a nonprofit in Tonasket gets,
right,
when the folks in Tonasket should be making those decisions?
Exactly.
So that's kind of a no-brainer.
That's the idea.
So who in your organization is the umbrella person when it comes time to distributing all these funds?
Oh gosh, so Jennifer Short, who is up in our OMAC office, is a rock star when it comes to doing the incredible effort that it takes to get all of these resources out into the community. And so she is literally driving thousands of miles every year, and she's doing over 100 site visits between all the different local advisory boards and legacy funds, and she's doing also the management of those 75 volunteers, keeping them happy and where they need to be, and getting them the information that they need to make the decisions that they need to make.
You sent me a couple of photos. I think we have time to throw these up.
Yeah,
I think one is going to be, well, that's a great photo.
Denise Sorm. So Denise is in charge of our programs as well as our donor stewardship. And so she is actively engaged in all of these programs, because everyone that walks in the door of the Community Foundation is someone that adds value. And so Denise makes sure that they are cared for in a way that is of a standard that we believe in.
And one of the indications of a strong community is libraries, and the NCW libraries got some dough.
Yes, they did. So this is the library system in North Central Washington, which, creeps a little bit outside of Chelan, Douglas, and Okanogan counties because they cover 5 different counties. But my gosh, if you look at the work that they do, it's unbelievable. The value that they add to this region is incredible. If you are homebound, they will send you materials. And if you want to learn something, they have all sorts of different programs. They add access to different materials for students who are learning robotics and all sorts of different things. It really is a hub of education, entertainment, and intellectual stimulation that we are very fortunate to have.
This is not your grandmother's libraries, and I got a perfect example of that. I have one of these. I have never tapped the potential of my smartphone, but starting in January, they're going to be doing classes for idiots like me.
Oh, I'll be right there with you.
Yeah, who don't know how to run a laptop, who don't know, I have these tools at my disposal, and I'm barely utilizing them.
Right.
And they're going to show me how to do it. Now, people would associate that with a library. You go in, you check your book out, and 6 weeks later, you bring it back and check out another book.
Now you're going to get it on your machine.
Yeah. Now you can get it on your Kindle or whatever.
Amazing.
So library
for free.
Yeah. Yeah, free. It doesn't cost you a dime.
No. It's amazing.
When you have places like NCW libraries and the Wenatchee Valley Museum and Cultural Center and great parks from the PUD and the cities and all of these things, people go, I think I want to move to Wenatchee. Looks like a pretty cool place.
It's pretty awesome, and the people here are generous, and that's why we have these wonderful assets.
Speaking of a wonderful asset, give her a big hand, everybody. It's Beth Stipe. Happy 2026. If you got anything on your mind or you want to just kill 20 minutes and come by, we'll put you on television.
Sounds good, but you forgot to mention the big thing that's happening. Yes.
The scholarship. Well, I'm not eligible.
Well, it's true.
This is
that's not true, actually.
Do you
want to go back to school to become an electrician or something like that, or a teacher? We have scholarships for you.
I'm kind of set in my ways.
Well, that's fair, but we do have scholarships for just about everyone.
It's time to sign up for that. Talk about that.
Yep. So January 1st, our scholarship application process opened for all of the different, almost 150 different scholarships that we have at the Community Foundation. Last year, we gave almost $1.5 million in scholarships to students throughout the region. Everything from nursing to trade schools. So it really is open to not only graduating seniors from our regional high schools, but it's open to those, what we would call non-traditional students. Somebody who maybe has wants to improve their skills or go back to school, or they didn't go to school and now they want to, now it's time and they're ready. So definitely go to our website at cfncw.org and check it out, because there's a lot of opportunity there for people who are interested in improving their skills.
And maybe you can do a little homework, say this is going to be a growth industry in our area. I'm going to live in Wenatchee, but
Absolutely.
I want to be able to, and you can say, maybe I should become an electrician or a plumber or something.
Or a nurse.
Or a nurse, a skill that I don't have, but I want to learn it.
Absolutely.
You don't have to be 18. You can be 38, 48. You just can't be 61 like I am.
You still could.
I know.
We can teach old dogs new tricks, Dan.
I was thinking about becoming a vascular surgeon.
Well, you might be a little too old for that.
Beth Stipe, the Community Foundation, North Central Washington. And hey, take it from somebody who knows going through the morass of trying to find scholarships is a pain in the butt.
We make it easy.
Having a one-stop thing for scholarships, because you said there's hundreds of them out there.
Yep.
And don't do your own homework when somebody who knows what they're doing will do it for you.
Absolutely.
So.
That technology thing really does sometimes make our lives better.
I am soon to be Dr. Dan Kuntz. This is Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. We'll be right back.